Hey guys, it's Joe, and welcome to a different type of video where I'm playing more Dead by Daylight, but this time exploring the public test build for the brand new upcoming A Portrait of Murder chapter, featuring the new killer, the Artist, and the new survivor, Jonah Vasquez. The first thing I just wanted to say coming into this is the lobby looks actually incredible. I really like the way the lobby looks for this chapter. And I'm really excited about this new killer, although her power seems a little rough to play. And the new survivor has got some interesting perks, but otherwise, nothing too crazy. I will say we got a killer game and a survivor game in this video. I got to play her on the game, which I'm going to talk about her perks and her power and this match a little bit as it goes on, and the same with the survivor game, which we actually got on the new map. But for now, we're going to jump in with talking about the Artist. So as you can see, her power is setting up these like astral projection birds, which you can launch at will, and they work as an information tool by swarming survivors. I didn't hit anyone there, but when they swarm survivors, basically it tells you where they are, and if they already have the birds on them and you hit them again with the birds, it injures them. I couldn't really get that to happen much because I didn't understand that in this game. I didn't really start to understand it until the survivor game I played. And I'm also still in rank 1 in this PTB, so I was actually absolutely getting smacked by this really solid team. I remember back during the Pinhead public test build, I was getting frustrated at losing a game because I didn't understand how to play Pinhead. In this game, I was just chill, trying it out. I was like, this is a learning experience. It's a PTB. There's no point in getting frustrated over it. But yeah, so her power is kind of interesting. I don't think it's very good for a map like the game. I don't think she's going to be very strong in verticality because those crows really only go in one direction, as far as I can tell. Like, they go straight on. Even the little lips by the power, the opening gates on the game, it wasn't dropping down to them. It was just going over them, so it made it really useless in that case. Unless she has, because I'll be honest, I didn't really look at her add-ons. If she has an add-on that, actually alters the direction based on the way you're looking, that would be a very interesting change of pace, and I imagine it would be a very strong add-on. But otherwise, yeah, she doesn't seem to be very strong in verticality. But also, I've only got to play one match as her, so I really can't say. There's probably people who will master it in no time. But anyway, we're going to talk about her perks. Now, I will say for both the Survivor game and the Killer game, I didn't have any blood points for this PTB. It reverted me to a point where I think I was spending them all to get Killer teachables. And I just didn't have blood points, so I was only able to run one perk instead of their set of 3, which was what I wanted to do, actually. But it's PTB. Killer queues are insane. I wasn't going to try to queue up for another match. But let's talk about her perks anyway, because they're pretty interesting, and I think they have the potential to be very strong in some circumstances. So her first teachable is called Grim Embrace, and basically you get a token every time you hook a survivor for the first time, up to 4, hooking every survivor for the first time. And basically what it does when it activates and you get all 4 tokens is it blocks all generators for a certain amount of time. The teachable says 20 seconds. I don't know if it's a different amount of time depending on the rarity you have. I didn't actually, investigate that. But basically, essentially what this is a corrupt intervention mid-game. So if you can get a solid start where you hook all 4 people, you can stop them from working on those gens for a little bit of time. And also this perk reveals the Obsession's aura to you for 4 seconds. So you can go after someone else as long as you didn't hook the Obsession 4th. And I think it's just going to be a very interesting game-changing perk, and this, along with Corrupt Intervention, could be a really dangerous combo. So I'm definitely interested to unlock this in the full game and use it on a ton of other killers. I think it could be just a very strong killer perk. Next up, we actually have a new Scourge Hook perk, like Pinhead had. This one's called Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. And this one, in effect, you'll see it a lot in the Survivor game, and I totally didn't realize what was up with it until I looked after, because I was so confused what was happening. I was like, she doesn't have Eruption, I don't think, because I'm not getting exhausted either. But basically, 4 random hooks are Scourge hooks, like the ones that Pinhead would have for sorry, I forgot the name. And when you hook a survivor on the Scourge hook, the generator that has the most progress explodes and it instantly loses 9%. and maybe more if you upgrade it. I'm not sure. But the survivors also scream and reveal their location. So this is... I feel like this is just a better version of Deadlock, because Deadlock blocks the progress of the best gen when someone finishes a gen. So it relies on you losing a gen to block a progress gen, and doesn't really do much other than block it like Thrilling Tremors does. Where this, on the other hand, progresses the gens. This is a distance pop goes the weasel. You don't have to chase down the highest gen. So I think that if you get good Scourge Hook placements, this will also be a very, very solid perk. And I'm very excited about it. And then finally, she has a Hex perk, this one, called Hex Pentimento. So basically, you see the aura of destroyed totems, and you can do a little ritual to rekindle them. It's almost as if it's a boon / anti-boon for a killer. So you can rekindle the broken totems, and the more you rekindle, the more the survivors have trouble to do things. The first one reduces their repair speed by 20, second one reduces their healing speed, third reduces their recovery speed, fourth reduces their exit gate opening, and if you have all 5, all totems get blocked and all those effects apply. And when they're removed, when they break a rekindled totem, it's fully broken. Now this seems really interesting in theory, but with boons in the game, I don't think it's going to be very useful, because people are not going to be breaking totems, they're just going to be blessing them. And you can't, as far as I know, rekindle a blessed totem, or, after snuffing it. It's still an up totem, it's not broken. So while I think this could be a cool perk in theory and very dangerous for survivors, I think that high tier survivors are already going to be mindful of it when it's in the game, and they're probably just going to use boons anyway and not destroy totems. Like, the amount of games I've played on the survivor end recently where people are really just not breaking totems, they're blessing them, or even killer side, like, it's just, I'm like the only person cleansing totems just for the boldness points, and I bet people probably hate me for it. But yeah, that's a look at her power and her perks. Now we're just going to talk a little bit about the match. I was getting absolutely destroyed by this 4 team of Jonahs, who I don't think were a Swift. I think they're just, solid rank 1 players. Also, I just had some rough palette placements, was trying to outplay them, but it just wasn't working out for me, besides the fact that I really just couldn't get the grasp of her power. So most of the game, I'm just getting destroyed on the gens, and losing chases left and right. I did have a little bit of hook trading towards the end of this match. I had a little mind game there, because I was like, I think he's just going to continue running around. And then this part where they're really going to get the exit gates open, I kind of just kept trading hooks over and over, and tried to get someone, and it just didn't work. They all escaped. It's not a solid match for me, and I know that's probably not what anyone wants to see. With the new killer, they're probably like, oh, I want to see how crazy powerful she is, and how she can wipe a team so easily. I kind of knew going into this match that wasn't going to be the case, because I was trying her out. Like, I'd seen Ots play, and I'd seen streamer and YouTuber Rapidmain play a little bit of her, but I didn't have the chance to really check her out in customs, so just going into a live match with the queue times, I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to lose, but it's whatever, we're checking her out. There's a little bit more of a look at the birds swarming, which you probably did see a little earlier. I think I hit a few times, and I think I even hit a few injures towards this late section. But when you see someone surrounded by birds, they get hit with this purple ring around their HUD, similar to the Pinhead chain wheel or Freddy's clock. Like, it gives them an active HUD status. So if you don't know who the killer is at a distance, you probably find out just from hearing the birds, if not seeing that. But like I said, she's not good for verticality. She can only shoot in these one directions, which makes it hard to hit. The one thing I will say, that guy was crouching. I don't think you can crouch underneath this power, which is kind of cool, because otherwise it would make her really weak in a lot of loops if you could just crouch under it, like, Nemesis's Chain Whip or Deathslinger's Spear Gun. Not Chain Whip, sorry, Tentacle Whip. But yeah, so it seems to have a little bit of lock-on, which is good to make her stronger in these smaller loops. I think it could be good against survivors who won't face her in the PTB, face her for the first time, and they're worried about repelling as if it's going to damage them or something. But otherwise, yeah, I just wasn't getting too much injury use out of it. This guy, see, I was trying to get him at the exit gate, but on that ledge, they just go straight over the exit gate power box, and there's just nothing you could do. So I thought that this guy was dead hook, but he wasn't. I was surprised no one was running DS. And yeah, someone dropped down to the bathroom. Someone was gonna wait up for the save when I put this guy back on the same hook. But yeah, at least I got a few hooks out of it in the end. I didn't go completely like 2-hook total loss. But yeah, definitely wish I could have gotten a kill, but it was getting late and killer queues were still crazy bad, so there was no way I was waiting around. I was thinking about just camping, and I was like, this is a PTB. There's really no need to camp. It doesn't mean anything at all. In the PTB, I'm rank 1 anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter if I'm not going up anywhere. The point is, it doesn't matter if I win or lose in a PTB. So I was like, I'm not going to camp. That's not fun for anybody. I'm just going to try to play fair. And I decided to take the risk and chase this guy, and I was like, oh no. I saw that pallet immediately, and was like, this is not going to go well for me. I was just losing these chases left and right. A lot of safe pallets, making bad choices, getting pallet stunned. It might just be her weapon, because I'm pretty sure someone has said that, like, for the most part, everyone's lunge distance is about the same, but some of the misses in this match, it felt like her lunge distance was shorter than some killers. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to know if some killers do have a shorter lunge distance. Like, I remember thinking, like, Freddy's was crazy after his buff, and someone just saying, well, his weapon is small, that's why it feels so crazy, but it's really just equal to anybody else. I don't know. But yeah, this guy made leeway against me after those pallet stuns. There was no way I was getting to him. He was getting out. It was just unfortunate. They unhooked their friend. One of them healed. I'm pretty sure they had Circle of Healing. I, in vain, once again, tried to launch the birds, and they just went over to no avail. Already out the door. And I was like, damn, that's a shame. But we tried. And luckily these survivors were really wholesome, and we just had a little chat about the killer and stuff. But yeah, so the game doesn't seem like it's going to be a good map for her. Hawkins is about to leave, so it's not going to matter. It'll be gone by the time she's out. So I don't think that'll matter. But something like the game, I don't think it's going to be very good for her, honestly. I don't think she's going to be good on verticality. And yeah, this was just a really solid team of survivors. Not that much I could do about it. But she's got a really cool design. She's got a really cool set of perks. I'm excited to practice her more, too, with her power. See if I can get her adept within, like, the first couple of weeks of her being out. Because that would be cool. And we were talking about here, it seems like you kind of got to play her by Hag. And it seems like with the Crows, it might be the case. She might be more of a defensive killer, especially for a map like that, where she can't get too much use without jumping around so much. She might just be a defensive killer. But time will tell. This is still a PTB. Things aren't always final, so you can never know. Like, people are already so quick to tier list her and put her somewhere on a tier list. It's a PTB. You don't know it's final. You don't know if she's going to end up getting an add-on pass. You don't know if her perks are going to change a bit. You never know. But yeah, I still had a lot of fun with this game and trying to check her out, and hopefully I can check her out in a custom game more today while the PTB is live. But anyway, we're going to jump in shortly into the Survivor match with Jonah Vasquez. And now we're here with my Survivor game as Jonah Vasquez on the new map Eyrie of Crows, which I did check custom games before this to see if it does have an offering, which it does. It's called the Crow's Eye, which brings you to this map. This map is absolutely stunning design-wise. Like, I really just like the look of it. Killer Shack looks incredible. I love the floating goo. It reminds me a lot of like magnetic ferrofluid and stuff like that. And I don't know if people were complaining about it, but I actually really like that this map is super bright. I think it's just a really nice change of pace from the darker maps. And I don't know. There's just something I really like about it. And I was going to mention it later because you see it later in this video as an example, and some people were talking about it, but I might as well bring it up now while I'm talking about the map. That some people are saying there seems to be a lot of open area, but I don't feel unsafe in this map the way I do on others, like Grim Pantry, where there can be a lot of dead zone, or some of the Yamaokas where there can be a lot of dead zone. And yeah, just admiring that center building and how cool it looks. But I never felt unsafe on this map. I felt like there was enough cover, enough interesting little places to hide, and good pallet spots, honestly, that I never felt really unsafe on this map as a survivor. I mean, I can only say so much with one game in it. I'm sure that RNG could probably make it a lot rougher. But for now, I really liked the way this felt as a survivor. Who's to say I'll like it as a killer? We don't know. But otherwise, yeah, I really thought that it was a cool looking map, and we've been needing a new map for such a long time. It's a shame how many original killers, and even the fact that we didn't get a Hellraiser map is a shame. I feel like with Clive Barker getting the rights back in December, we could have probably had a Hellraiser map, like the hospital from Hellraiser 2 or something like that. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Jonah Vasquez, the new survivor, who a lot of people are saying looks like Guy Fieri. I'm not super keen on his design, but it's whatever. I'm sure he'll have some cool cosmetics, and it'll be fine. But let's check out his perks, which I'll be honest, I'm going to kind of dive in for the first time with you guys, because I haven't really looked other than the one that everyone's talking about, which we'll get to, his Boon. But the first one he has is called Overcome, which is the only one I was able to run during this game, because it sounded kind of interesting. So when you're injured, you get a movement speed bonus for a couple seconds. Like when you get injured and you run a little faster, you get that kind of speed boost. You get it for an extra couple seconds, maybe more if it's a fully upgraded perk. But then you also get an exhausted status effect. So it works as an exhaustion perk. It's supposed to be letting you escape a chase early. From my use in this game, it doesn't seem like it's really going to be that useful. Honestly, it's more kind of a niche perk that maybe will have some uses on maybe indoor maps where there's smaller tiles, or more tricky tiles like on the Yamaokas where there's some interesting curves and stuff. But otherwise, seems like it's going to be a perk that maybe people will check out once in a while, but then it's not going to get used very often compared to the standard exhaustion perks of Live. Things like Dead Hard, Sprint Burst especially, I've been seeing a lot more in my killer games. I don't know if it's just a high rank thing, it feels like it might be. I walked over here to just try to check her out for a bit, because I don't get into a chase until like much later in this match, and also I was just admiring the environment again, trying to see if those were vault locations, but they're not. So it seems like if you get stuck up there, good luck if you don't have that pallet. You're probably going to take a hit. And just admiring the center building library, it just looks really cool. But anyway, sorry, back to the perks. Second one's called Corrective Action. And basically, you start the trial with a token. You can gain up to 5 for every great skill check you do. And when a survivor fails a skill check while working with you, a token's consumed, and their failed becomes a good. So instead of popping a generator, they'll just get a good, and it will be fine. And you can do that up to 5 times for every great skill check you get, and of course you can gain the tokens back. Seems like an interesting perk, maybe useful for helping new people learn the game. Like, I remember when I was teaching a few friends how to play the game, we kind of just recommended they ran Technician to avoid messing up skill checks while they were getting used to it. This seems like it could be a good synergy perk with that for teaching new players. I don't see it having too much use in high rank play at all, because, you know, high-tier survivors, high-tier MMR, they're usually hitting their skill checks anyway. They're not often missing without the effect of a perk. At least I kind of tend to find that. But I don't think it's a bad perk. I think it might have its place in a lot of situations. So overall, not a terrible perk. Now we're going to talk to the big controversial one for killers. Survivors are very excited about this one. Boon Exponential. So basically, what this Boon does, it's got its standard Boon range, like the others. It might actually be shorter than the others, I'm not sure. But what happens is it's an unbreakable Boon. Not unbreakable in the sense that killers can't snuff it. It mimics the effects of Bill's perk, Unbreakable. Anyone in the range of the Boon can recover 90% speed faster and get up. Like, they can just get up. It's an anti-slugging Boon. So this in combo with Circle of Healing, if you're not patrolling an area on a bigger map, like Red Forest or something, and you're really losing track of totems, chasing someone against gens on the other side, this could be terrible. I do think still it will be situational. I tend to snuff every Boon I can come across. Circle of Healing I find is harder to counter because it still relies on survivors being up, where this one relies on survivors being slugged. But if you hear a Boon and you slug someone, from this point on, when this chapter comes out, you should destroy that Boon before moving on. It's supposed to be an anti-slugging perk, and apparently they can get up faster than you can get other people down, similar to Circle of Healing was in the PTB. I'm sure that this perk will probably be changed quite a bit for the actual chapter release. Wouldn't surprise me at all. The same way Circle of Healing was. It might even cause more crashes than Circle of Healing. We don't know. But we'll see how it plays. I think that in high rank play, this and some of the other boons are really going to get a lot of use. But back to the gameplay, you saw me get hit by both the Scourge hooks perk that I didn't understand, and I got hit by the crows there. And she was trying to come after me for a bit, or just hit me with the crows, which I made sure I tried to avoid, because you can actually see the big crow heads where she's planting them. I didn't expect her to get into a chase with that Zarina, who is dead hook, right next to me. I expected her to fully commit to me, where I did kind of pallet bait a bit, because I just wanted to see if I could pallet stun her, get a better look at her, stuff like that. Also, I don't know any of the loops on this map or tiles. There seems to be some more interesting tiles on this map specifically. But yeah, I had a lot of fun in this match, despite really not playing my best. This Leon was insane. He had Circle of Healing, which pretty much never got cleansed throughout the entire game. He's the only one who escapes. I don't get out just to some mistakes at the end. But yeah, like, he was just a really solid player, really good. So this is where I was thinking about how some parts of the map are really open. You have this like weird divot to the left of me with some rocks, and that back area has kind of got nothing on. But see, like, there's a lot of tiles close together, a lot of these narrow gravestones that are separating things that I didn't feel unsafe on this map. I really just like the way this map looks. I like the way the map feels. I think it's got less dead zones than other maps that have been in the game for way longer. Like I said, Grim Pantry is the big one. I've seen versions of Grim Pantry where the entire center is dead zone. No barrel tiles, no pallets, nothing. It's a survivor's nightmare. So as long as RNG doesn't screw up this map too bad, it should be pretty fun, and I'm excited to encounter it. But like I said, just more about the design. The Killer Shack being made of all this like big brick. The exit gates look incredible. Staring up at the center building again, like, I've only ever done that really with the Temple of Purgation, but I think this thing looks way cooler than the Temple of Purgation. Reminds me even of the tower that we were looking at in Amnesia Rebirth. Yeah, that's just me getting a look at more of the scenery to show it off. I don't know. There's just something about this map. I can't say I just can't dislike it. I know I've only played one match on it, and time will tell, but right now, this is, I'm really excited. I think I'm just really excited about the fact that the new map in general. We've been waiting for one for so long, which I already said. Yeah, so, like, I don't really know what else to say other than, like, yeah, this is a very new video format for me. Trying to show off some new content in the game, which is not typically what I would care about doing other than just showing clips, but I thought it would be a fun thing to check out if I could. And I for the most part, I've enjoyed making this video and just talking about it. I know at parts it's probably kind of rambly, and I kind of repeat myself because it's completely unscripted. It's just my thoughts off the top of my head. But overall, I really enjoyed making this video and conceptualizing it for myself. There, Leon finishes the last gen, and I get unhooked, and she's pretty much just gonna proxy me, which I can't blame her. Looking for the last Leon. So I'm gonna cut this part short when I get unhooked by the Leon, surprisingly, and then I just run to either the wrong exit. No, I don't even run to the wrong exit gate, because that is the exit gate he ends up opening, but he opens it, I think, after I get killed. On a map like this, with her crows, she can be very good for information at the exit gates and stopping people, I think. Just didn't work out for me. I get caught, and that's how it ends, and the Leon gets out. But still, pretty wholesome chat with the survivor, the Leon especially. He just played a really good match. But yeah, overall, that's everything to talk about in the new PTB for a Portrait of Murder chapter, with the Artist and Jonah Vasquez and all their perks. I'm actually really excited for this chapter. I wasn't that interested when I saw the leaks, but now that we see it in-game, we see the absolute cool, incredible effort that's been put into this chapter so far. I'm really excited to see it come to the game. and just new content in general outside of the Halloween event, which was nothing crazy, and the fact that we had a killer and survivor, the killer having a ton of stuff with the fucking NFT issues, despite how much I like the Hellraiser IP now, that's unfortunate about the fucking owners and that whole shit that went down, which I don't condone at all. And Michaela just wasn't enough content on her own. Like, she got some cool outfits, she had the Boon totems, but I don't know, it didn't feel like enough to me content-wise, which I know could sound kind of selfish. These game developers are working hard, especially the developers, not the higher-ups were more involved with this NFT shit too. But yeah, I don't know. I think I've just been itching for some new content after running all the killers multiple times, getting all the adepts in the game, and now I have 2 more to work towards. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video about the Artist PTB. And I'll be coming back with you with more Dead by Daylight clips, the rest of my recorded Adept games, because unfortunately I don't have the final or a bunch of them recorded. Some other solid killer games, maybe some more Survivor games, and maybe I'll also cut down that Soma VOD and upload it very soon to YouTube, maybe start that as a new series as well, but we'll see. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining me for the Portrait of Murder PTB, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Joe, signing out. Bye, everybody.